Hi and welcome to kwmwine.com Tars. We're doing another video tasting, and this time it's a brand new wine for us. Finca Flichman, if that's how you pronounce it. Dedicato Malbec from Argentina. From what part of Argentina? Mendoza. What part of Mendoza? Uco Valley, which is a little bit higher altitude, and not just that, it comes from a vineyard area called the Tupungato, which is higher altitude again. So 1100 meters above sea level, it's telling me on the back of this, which is quite helpful. So in warm sort of climate like warm dry climate like Mendoza, that altitude really makes a huge difference to the actual finished wines. It helps sort of warm days, cold nights, build sort of tannins and structure into the actual grapes, which follow then through and complexity into the actual wines then as well. What I like actually about this, and I've never seen this actually before in the back of a bottle of wine. I'm not sure whether you'll see it or not, but maybe when you see it on the website, you can zoom in onto the back label and it'll tell you all about it. But I thought this was really good and helpful from a consumer point of view, where it sort of tells you straight away grape variety, 100% Malbec, 12 months in oak, 50% American, 50% French. It doesn't say that, but I know these things. Telling you how long age it for, 8 years. Okay, that's all pretty standard stuff, and the type of foods that you can have it with, said eat it with food, eat it with meat, etc, etc, all standard enough stuff. But the other important part on the back of this I like, it tells you sort of the complexity. Out of a score of 1 to 5, it's telling me 4 out of 5, so it's a fairly complex wine. Tannins, 3 out of 5, it's got a bit of grip and body to it. Body, it's telling 4 out of 5, so quite full bodied. Fruit, 5 out of 5, so fruity wine. And oak, 4 out of 5. So, you know, it gives you an idea just by looking at the back label. I guess the overall style of the wine, so pretty much full bodied, fruity, quite a structure to it. And this is really helpful, I think, for consumers. And I think I wish more producers would do stuff like this because it makes life so much easier. So come back to the beginning. Finca Flichman was settled in 1910 by a Polish immigrant, I believe. And it was sort of, he planted the vines and made wine and so on and so forth, handed it down through the generations. It ended up being sold to a large Portuguese outfit, So Grape, who in 1998, who then heavily invested in the product and the property. They have about 400 hectares, so it's a fairly sizable property there. They heavily invested in the equipment, the vineyards, everything. To really, they realised that they got a fantastic piece of land and they could do a lot with it by putting money into it and bringing it up to standard, I suppose, compared to where it was. And then they invested in winemakers, and the winemaker behind this, German Barria, I think his name is, or German something or other. Sorry if I forgot that and you're watching this right now, apologies. But more importantly, he won Argentinian Young Winemaker of the Year a couple of years ago, so he's a real rising star. And then also it's consulted on by Alberto Antonini, who seems to be everywhere, to be honest. He consults on a lot of wines. He's got his finger in a lot of pies. But that's not a bad thing, because generally speaking, every wine I've tasted from Alberto Antonini or has his hand in it, I've always liked it, and he seems to do a very good job. So he's a Tuscan flying winemaker, if you like, super enologist, sharpshooter, and he's good at what he does. So usually when he's got a hand in it, it's well worth a look. So Finca Flichman, Dedicato. So this is one of their top Malbecs, I suppose. 14.5%, Argentina Malbec, synonymous like Australia Shiraz, Burgundy, Cabernet, Burgundy Pinot, Burgundy Cabernet, what am I talking about? You must have been drinking half of this bottle before now. Burgundy Pinot, so on and so forth, Bordeaux Cabernet. There we go. So Sauvignon Blanc and Marlborough and so all that sort of stuff. So when you swirl it around, you can see just the sort of the depth, the colour to it. It's fairly deep. It's not inky by any means, but it's got quite a bit of sort of viscosity and legs coming through, you know. It's got a bit of warmth, a bit of alcohol in there as well. Oh, really nice aromatics. Quite lifted as well. Very much on the fruity side, as we're sort of saying, indicating on the back of this. Slightly jammy, black curranty jam, sort of raspberry notes. A little bit of sort of licorice and tar and things going on. Black fruited, yeah. Nice. Like. Mouth coating, cleans out really well. It's got really quite fine but big tannins to it. The tannins are lovely and fine, and you know, they're not grainy by any means. You just have enough grip to bring the structure together. Acidity cleans it all out, really nice. You get a slight, that sort of licorice note coming through, and the finish, a bit of spice, pepper notes. Rich, subtle, you know, flexible, supple, that is. Very good. Yeah, nice bottle of wine. And it has long length on it as well. It lingers and lingers and lingers. Really good. Doesn't have those sort of chocolatey flavours that you might get with some of the sort of warmer parts of Mendoza and things like that. Sometimes you can get quite a lot of chocolatey notes off Malbecs, I find, or cola notes and things. You're not getting so much of that. It's a bit more restrained, sort of vibrant, fresher fruit. A little bit of spice, and that sort of comes with the altitude, I think. The oak is a nice balancing factor in there, nice fine tannins. It's a wine that, you know, on the back here suggesting red meats. Perfect, you know. Argentina steak is like, you know, hand in glove, I suppose. You'll not be disappointed. Really nice. Classic sort of packaging, I suppose, but don't let that put you off. It's well worth a go. Really nice Argentinian Malbec. I'm sure it'll do well in its own right, and it'll be a good addition to our range. So remember, kwmwine.com, the place where taste matters. Cheers.